You've probably heard it said that diamonds are forever, but you've probably never heard it said that WordPress themes are forever. And that's because the theme that you're using right now on your website, guaranteed there's going to be a point in time in the future when you're going to want to switch themes. I know for me on my website, I've switched themes about 4 times. Now the theme I'm using now I've used for the last 2 years, and I don't think I'll be switching themes at any point in the future. I'll talk about why later on in this video. But this video is going to be your guide to switching themes from the one you're using now to a better theme. If that interests you, consider watching this video, subscribing, clicking on the notification bell. Okay, some of this will be done presentation style. So first, you need to ask yourself, why do you want to do this in the first place? Because there's going to be work involved. So just make sure that this is something that you really want to do. Okay, now I want to give you some advice before we get started, and I wish I was able to give you this advice before you chose the theme that you're wanting to stop using, and that is to not use a theme where you're locked into a style, and instead use a theme that is more general and general purpose. See, what happens is if you use a theme that has a very distinct style, what's going to happen is styles change, preferences change. What looks great today is not going to be what looks great tomorrow. All you have to do is think about fanny packs, okay? Sorry I had to put that word in your mind. Just think of fanny packs. This was something that was so popular, extremely popular in the 80s. You have sometimes these funny celebrity photos of celebrities wearing them when they were younger, and then they immediately became the most grotesque thing that you could have in your wardrobe. Same thing with fidget spinners last year. So what happens is if you choose a theme where you're locked into a style and you think this style looks great, that theme, you're going to have to change themes in the future if you want to get away from that style. So I much more prefer using a theme that's a general theme. So I would suggest Astra theme or Generate Press theme or even Ocean WP. I'll have lists of all these things in the video description box. If you choose something along those lines, you're going to create what's called a timeless website. So you would pair that with a page builder such as Elementor or Beaver Builder, where you're using the page builder and it's real easy to not be locked into a style because you can easily change things. And that's why I've had the same theme for the last 2 years. I'm redesigning my website, but I'm not changing themes or tools. Okay, so here's a few questions that you need to evaluate so you know how much work is going to be involved to be able to change themes. So first of all, you need to identify all the features that you're using on your website right now that are locked into the theme that you're using. So what happens is when you switch themes, those features are just not going to be available. Let me show you an example. Right here are the top selling themes on ThemeForce, which is a marketplace for buying WordPress themes. And you look here, and there's a reason why I don't suggest any of these themes. A lot of them are actually very poorly coded, and they tend to run on the slow side, but pretty much all of them feature lock-in, meaning all of the features for these themes, they're tied into the theme, and the minute you switch themes, you lose it. So some of the things that are very common to lose, or if there's like a portfolio feature, or if the theme you're using has a proprietary page builder versus a general page builder like Elementor or Beaver Builder or Breezy, what happens is you're going to be locked in. So you need to evaluate what features that you need to use on your website that are tied into the theme. And you know what? If there's something that you can't find an alternative to, you're going to be stuck with the theme that you're using. So you're going to want to evaluate, find alternatives, and things like that. You're also going to want to know how your content is built. So very old WordPress websites, your homepage was an assembly line of widgets, and these are highly stylized widgets. You lose all that, okay? If your theme has a page builder that's baked into the theme, as soon as you switch themes, you're going to lose all of that content, okay? Now, some themes might have a page builder that you just don't want to use, and so it's up to you if you want to carry that over to the new theme or just switch it out altogether and start from scratch on some of those pages. You really need to know how the content is built so you can know if you're going to lose it when you switch themes. Next, you want to see what stylized widgets are coming from your theme. So if you're using any of, say, the old Genesis theme and child themes, you would go and you'd look at the demo and they'd have these beautiful home pages and there's all this great stylized stuff. Well, they were accomplishing that with styled widgets that you lose the minute you switch themes. So you need to just be conscious and aware of that. Okay, now here are some of the things that you're guaranteed gonna have to redo in the new theme. First of all, you're going to lose all of your customizer settings. So if you have a theme that is from 2015 and newer, all the settings for the theme went into the customizer. You lose that. Some of the older themes, they would have their own settings panel. You lose all of those settings. You're going to just have to put those back in. Next, you're going to lose whatever style or format you have for the header, the top of your website where the logo and the menu is. You're going to just have to redo that. And you're not going to have to remake your menus, but you'll have to potentially reassign those menus. So when you switch themes, you're going to have to say, this is my main menu, this is my footer menu. You're going to have to do that over again. And so the same goes for the footer. So you'll just have to redo those. That's not really that big of a deal. You're going to lose all the widget locations. So an example of this is if you're looking at a blog post and say your blog format is content, and then on the right you have that sidebar and those are showing widgets. So you're going to have to put those widgets back in those widget locations. So you're going to notice when you switch themes, you had all your widgets for your sidebars, maybe your footers, and now they're gone. You just have to put them back. So you'll want to make sure you know or remember or have a note of the widgets you were using and where you were using them so that it will be faster for you to start using the new theme. And maybe you're going to lose your content, and this is sad. So this is you evaluating how the content was built in the first place so that you know if it's going to be there when you switch. So if you're using a theme that has a proprietary page builder, you're going to lose your content. You have a theme that's using Visual Composer. Well, you can keep Visual Composer. I don't suggest it, but you can keep it. But if you take Visual Composer out, you're going to lose all your content. As well, those old Genesis themes with the child themes, those beautiful home pages that they made, you're going to lose all of that. So just know that going in, what's going to happen to your content. You just need to know how the content got there in the first place. Okay, so you're going to need a few things. Now, you're going to need a staging area. Definitely. What a staging area is it's a exact clone and duplicate of your website, but it's not where your website is. It's at a different location, so you would access it through a different URL. So if you have a web hosting company that has staging, you log in, you click one button, it's going to make a duplicate, and it's going to give you a different URL for you to work off of. And then you can change the theme, look at the ramifications, and it doesn't affect your main website. That's still operational. It's just a copy someplace else that you get to work on. And this is how you're going to determine how much of a mission it's going to be to switch themes in the first place. Now, the best thing to do is to use a web host that provides a staging area. It's by far going to be the most convenient and easy. So I'll have a link to this, but you can visit WPCrafter.com/hosting to see all of my hosting recommendations. Now, your basic shared hosting is not going to have staging. It's super budget hosting, but WordPress WordPress managed hosting will have staging areas. So here are those companies. So I have the least expensive ones here on the top. So we've got SiteGround. Now SiteGround only provides one-click staging on their top plan. So the initial fee of that is, I think it's like $12 a month. A2 Hosting has managed WordPress hosting. It's a really good platform. It's a separate platform. It's very affordable. It's $12 per month. And InMotion Hosting also has one-click staging in their WordPress managed hosting. Now here's going to be your better quality hosts, and it's also going to come at about twice the cost. So we've got Kinsta, we've got WP Engine, and we have Flywheel, although the $14 per month is not really a plan that you'd probably want with Flywheel. So these are all pretty much going to be the same. They're starting at around $30 to $35 a month, and they have higher price plans that you might have to be on. So a good value would be the highest plan at SiteGround, or it would be A2 Hosting right here. And if you did get hosting, I have a training package bonus of courses that I offer for people that do make that switch. So don't worry if you don't want to move hosts. Don't worry about it. There's an alternative. Just like anything though, there's going to be more steps and more work on your part to create a staging area of your own. And so probably the best way would be to migrate the website to localhost. And what that means is there's a program that you could put on your Mac or your PC, and that will allow you to install WordPress on your local computer. And so you would migrate from wherever your website is now. You'd make a copy of it, you would migrate it down to your local machine, then you make all the changes that you want, switch the theme, see what you're looking at, and then you have to migrate it back and overwrite the site that you have. See, there's more steps involved. So when you have a staging with your host, it's all one click to make the copy, then you change everything, one click to push it and overwrite the website. There's a convenience factor there. So there's a couple programs that will make this super easy for you. So one of them is Local by Flywheel. It's an application that you would come here and download. I'll put a link down below in the video description box. Now, I use this on my Mac and my PC. I have both, and I use it on both. But here's the thing. A lot of people have used this app, and it's wreaked havoc on their computers. I haven't had that problem, but I know a lot of people that have had that problem. So if you have an older, maybe underpowered on modern standards computer, you might run into problems using Local by Flywheel. It might work fantastic for you, and it might be a disaster and a nightmare. Great for me. I know tons of people that it's been a disaster for. So it's super easy. I have a video on how to install this and how to install WordPress using this, and I'll put a link to that down below for you. Another option is Laragon, and this will only work on a PC. This is fantastic. You never hear of anyone having problems with this. It's a little more techy. There's a little bit more involved. It's not doable. I'll try to find a tutorial on Laragon, and I will put that down in the video description box as well. Maybe I'll have a written tutorial on my website for this. That's what I'll do. So there's Laragon. It's pretty good, and I think that it'll be good for you. Now, what that doesn't, that's just one piece of the puzzle. That's just how you get WordPress onto your local machine. You still have to go and use a tool to make a copy of your website that you can then download to your computer and restore on your local machine. And so for that, I'm going to give you two options as well. Now, I also have videos and tutorials on using each of these tools. So number one is going to be using all-in-one WP migration. There's a big caveat with this, okay? It's a solid plugin. What it does really well, but there's limits that they don't tell you about. Now, if you have a very old website where there's lots of blog posts and images, and maybe the size size of your website has gotten kind of large, well, might not work for you. There's a limit on how big the size of the backup of your website can be. So the limit is, I think it's 500 megabytes. Now, if you just have a basic website with a few pages on it, it's going to be fine. But if you have a website with lots of images that have been uploaded over time, most likely it's going to be larger than that. Now, what they try to do is move you into buying a way of lifting the limit from 500 megabytes to something larger. They charge, I think, $69. It's not a good deal. I would not recommend buying that from them. So my advice is, if you install this and your website's under 500 megabytes, great, use it. If it's over, I would just remove the plugin altogether, because I have a better option for you that's going to be less expensive and more flexible. And that's going to be Updrafts. If you've watched my video on how to back up your website, it's using the free plugin Updrafts to make a backup of your website. Well, they also have a paid add-on for it called Migrator. You can get this for $30. So decide, is it better to pay $69 or $30 if both tools get the job done and they do a good job? I personally prefer the way that Migrator does it, but if you have to buy the tool because you're above the limit on that free plugin, then you're going to have to go with Migrator. Well, you don't have to. It's my advice to get this right here. So I'll have a link that takes you to here. So it's $30 and you can install it on your websites. They give you 60 days of support. I have migrated massive websites. Once it was an 8 gigabyte website using this tool, and it was fantastic and it did a great job. Okay, so you're going to need either of those. Now let me walk you through some of the practical of what to expect and some things you might bump into when you switch your theme. So if you're using you switch themes and you use the page builder that you decided to keep, whether it be Elementor or Beaver Builder, of course you would keep those because they're not linked or tied up to a theme. Or maybe you use Visual Composer for some reason and you decided to keep it, and you switch themes and you look at it and you're like, oh, this is not what it's supposed to look like. This is supposed to be edge to edge, and now it's in this box, and I'm on the home page and I've got this sidebar here, and that's not how it's supposed to look either. Let me show you how you can fix that. Okay, so you can see I'm using the Generate Press theme right here. So most themes are that have been made to work with the page builder, they're going to have customizer settings that you can say, for pages, I want to make it full width. So you would find that in the customizer. So for Generate Press, you would go to Appearance, you would go to Customize right here, and this one's Layout. I need to go over this before the video. Container, and right here we would probably do one container. And so there's going to be just some settings here that you need to go through. So for sidebars, I would remove the sidebar to be no sidebars like that. And then I want to find the option to make it full width. This is one way of doing it. Let me show you a better way using Generate Press and a better way using the Astra theme if you're switching to that. So we have this problem here, and let me go to that particular page, okay? So what most themes need you to do is to tell the theme which page you're using a page builder on. So here's that post right here. And with Generate Press, if I scroll down, there's options down here. So what I'd have to do is I would have to say no sidebar like that. And then I would have to go to Page Builder Container and choose full width. And I might have to go to disable elements and disable the content title like this. Then do an update, and I bet I probably got it. Okay, so that's how I would want it to look. So you can manually do that. It might be very tedious. The good news is Generate Press, and I'll have a link to Generate Press down below. It's a very affordable theme. It's only $49. They have a really neat feature. So I have the paid version of Generate Press. And so if you go to Appearance and then Generate Press, you see you need to enable this feature called Elements. So I have it enabled. I'll click right here where it says Elements. I'll click on Add New. Essentially what this is going to allow us to do is create a rule on which pieces of content we want to have set up for a page builder. It's very convenient. So I can go to Layout, and so here are those same options: sidebar, footer, container, display rule, and container. So what you would do, you would say, okay, I want no sidebar, container is going to be full width, and then you have the option of display rules, and I can say have this be on all pages. So here's pages. So now it's going to appear, it's going to apply these rules on all pages. It's very slick. And if you're switching to the Astra theme, I have a link for that below as well. Astra has a better free theme if you are switching to a free theme than GeneratePress does. Gives you more. So I'm using the free Astra theme. They have a plugin that you can get. It's called Astra Bulk Edit. It's a free plugin that you add, and then you can use it, and then you can remove it. So for that same problem, say this page right here is a page builder build page. So I would see a list of all my pages, and I would check the ones that I want to change the settings to be for a page builder. For this example, the sample page, but I can do more than one. Then right here where it says bulk actions, you choose edit and then you click apply. Now what you see is these options here that says Astra settings. This is what that plugin adds. So I can go right here and I can choose no sidebar, and I can go right here where it says content layout, and I could say full width. I can disable anything, and then when I click on update, it's going to take those changes and apply it to each of the pages that I had checked. So if you wanted to manually do that with Astra, it's very easy. They put the options right here in the column right here. So it says sidebar. I can choose no sidebar. Well, I just did that in the bulk edit. I can choose the content layout, and I can have control over disabling things, whatever that I want to disable there. And that's pretty much all there is to switching themes. Now, I'm gonna have in the video description box lots of links to articles on my website on how to move things around your website. I'll have links to videos, I'll have links to the various tools, because I went quick to Flywheel, to Laragon, and to all of that. Now, unfortunately, I can't make a video for the masses on how to the actual demonstrating doing it piece by piece. And the reason why is there's a million different themes, a million different hosts, a million different environments. It'd be very hard to make a video for everyone. So I'm showing you what you need to think about, what you need to consider, how to set up the staging area, and basically giving you the step-by-step, this is how you're going to want to do it. So hopefully you found this valuable and helpful to be able to make this change for your website. And anyways, if you have any specific questions, you can ask in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer those. Now, if you found value in this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, click on that notification bell so YouTube can notify you when I upload new videos like this. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I can't wait to make the next one for you. Thanks for watching.